Welcome to Puerto Rico English News, the only English-speaking broadcast of local Puerto Rican news and entertainment. Please subscribe. Keep us alive.
Friday, February 25th, Isla Verde, Puerto Rico. Officers of the Federal Marshal's Service captured one of the most wanted fugitives by the Canadian government, Conor Vincent D'Monte, the alleged leader of the British Columbia chapter of the criminal organization known as the Global United Nations Syndicate, GUNS, in English. The federal agency explained that its agents found D'Monte in the Isla Verde area, in Carolina, during a traffic stop. The U.S. Marshal Service indicated that, at the time of his arrest, D'Monte had assumed a false identity and was known as Johnny Williams. The Deputy Chief of the Federal Marshal's Service, Antonio Torres, stated they think that D'Monte had been living on the island for several years, specifically, in the area of Canavanas, Puerto Rico. Torres added that they are also investigating whether D'Monte had or developed any connection with criminal organizations in Puerto Rico, or if he is linked to any crime reported on the island.
Wednesday, February 23, Fajardo, Puerto Rico, the police reported that Anthony Khalil Mercado Diaz, known as the urban music artist on call, is in critical condition after being shot in the middle of a shootout in Fajardo, in which another man was also injured. The director of the Criminal Investigation Corps of Fajardo, Joaquin de la Cruz Santiago, explained that the 21-year-old rapper and the second injured man, who is 26 years old, were passengers in a vehicle driven by a third man, who is 24 years old, when they were shot. The events occurred on Las Flores Avenue in the Florencio neighborhood, at about 10:17 p.m. In the car there was a 24-year-old, a 26-year-old and a 21-year-old. The 24-year-old was transporting the 26-year-old and Anthony Mercado Diaz. When these gentlemen were about to reach the Florencio neighborhood, they were intercepted by two masked individuals who took out two long weapons and began to shoot at them, the police captain explained. Today we will continue interviewing and we will go to the scene to see if there is any security camera that sheds light on what happened. Also, we will interview neighbors in the area. We are not going to stop investigating until we can locate these gentlemen who committed these acts, said the captain, who asked the population to contact 787-863-2030 or 787-863-3040, if they have details that help in this investigation.
Thursday, February 24th, the Federal Bureau of Investigation asked for witnesses and potential citizens with knowledge of the murder of Alexa Negron Luciano to cooperate with the investigation to prosecute the woman's murderer. I know who the murderer was, but that is not enough to legally prosecute a person, said the director of the federal agency, Joseph Gonzalez. Alexa, a transgender woman who was 29 years old at the time of her death, was shot to death on PR 165, in Toa Baja. Both federal and state authorities have no doubt that it is a crime resulting from prejudice because videos that emerged on social networks, days before the violent death, showed physical and verbal aggression against the woman. A group of men fired paintball pellets at the transgender woman, then posted the recorded attack on social media. This is believed to have incited the murder, which occurred 2 days later. A $25,000 reward has been offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of her murderer. It has been 2 years since the murder. The FBI implores anyone with information on this hate crime to please contact the FBI at 787-987-6500 or through their website at tips.fbi.gov.
Friday, February 25th, Bayamon, Puerto Rico, 2 men were killed, in separate incidents, in Bayamon. The Bayamon Criminal Investigation Corps is investigating 2 separate violent incidents in which 2 men died and another was injured. The incidents occurred just minutes apart. One of the preliminary reports states that a call to the 911 emergency system alerted authorities to a person wounded by a gunshot in a tattoo shop business. Upon arriving in the area, the agents found the body of Omar Nieves Rivera, 41, co-owner of the establishment. Omar Nieves Rivera received at least 7 bullet wounds. According to the director of the Bayamon CIC, Donna Lee Pesca Santiago, 54, shot Nieves Rivera after he allegedly arrived at the business, became aggressive and began hitting her daughter, who was also his domestic partner. The authorities reported last Saturday that the woman, Donna Lee Pesca Santiago, who allegedly killed her son-in-law, was released while the prosecution investigates whether charges will be filed against her. Meanwhile, the police were alerted, a few minutes later, to another shooting inside the Vaquero Burger restaurant on Betances Avenue. Agents who arrived at the establishment found the body of Luis Santiago Caraballo, 26, who died at the scene after receiving multiple gunshot wounds. CIC officers also assisted another man, identified as David Andino Gonzalez, 64, who received a gunshot wound to the hip area. Andino Gonzalez was transported, in stable condition, to the medical center in Rio Piedras.
Thursday, February 24th, another shooting was reported in Bayamon. According to the police, a call to the 911 emergency system at 9:05 a.m. alerted about a person lying on the pavement. At the scene, officers found the body of the man, who has not yet been identified, with fatal gunshot wounds. Bullet casings of different calibers were seized there. The man was described as fair complexion, dyed red hair, approximately 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighing approximately 180 pounds. He was wearing a burgundy coat, black shorts and black sneakers.
Wednesday, February 23, Rio Grande, Puerto Rico. The police are investigating the murder of an 18-year-old man, registered on Tuesday afternoon, in the Corolla neighborhood. According to the police report, a call through the 911 emergency system at 5:12 p.m. alerted the police to some shots fired in the area. Upon arrival, the agents found the body of the young man identified as Richard Ramirez Ferrer, a resident of Rio Grande. The victim had several gunshot wounds in different parts of the body that caused him to die on the spot. Agents assigned to the Fajardo CIC Homicide Division, together with the prosecutor on duty, took charge of the investigation.
Saturday, February 26, Mayaguez, Puerto Rico. Police seize heroin, crack and cocaine. Agents from the Mayaguez Police Bureau arrested 4 people in possession of different types of drugs, controlled medications and cash during a drug bust in the Yagues residential complex last Tuesday. As part of a surveillance operation, officers from the drug division arrested Milton Rivera Narvaez, 40, Rafael Velez Pereira, 35, Jose Anoa Arroyo, 29, and Herman Sierra Martinez, 40. The police indicated, through the preliminary report, that they seized 86 stacks of heroin, 17 balls of crack cocaine, 28 bags of marijuana, a bag of cocaine, 99 pills of controlled drugs and $127 in cash.
Monday, February 28, Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. The trial against Shirley Vera Barreto began Monday for the murder of her husband, former Police Lieutenant Alvin Quinones Acevedo, in the court of Aguadilla. The defense will maintain that the death was the outcome of years of mistreatment and domestic violence towards the accused, who is now 32 years old. Vera Barreto was accused of the death of Quinones Acevedo, 52, which occurred on December 2, 2020, in Moca, Puerto Rico. The man died of a shot to the neck inflicted with one of his own firearms. The events of that night are controversial, but a source familiar with the events and who asked not to be named assured one local media source that Vera Barreto was subjected to a brutal pattern of domestic violence by Quinones Acevedo. The defense plans to present photographs showing bruises on the front and back of the accused's body, the result of blows allegedly inflicted by the deceased before the events that led to his death. A medical report made that same night also documents the injuries. Vera Barreto faces up to 129 years in prison. She is the mother of 4 daughters from previous relationships. She comes from an unstable family environment and poverty, one source claims. The case against Vera Barreto could represent a very peculiar phenomenon within the law commonly known as the battered woman syndrome. According to the precedent established by the Supreme Court of Puerto Rico, the battered woman syndrome applies to cases when the battered woman does not kill her partner aggressor while he is attacking her, but rather she does so in a period of relative calm. In the case of Vera Barreto, from the beginning questions have been raised about the handling of the case by the police. The night of the events, Vera Barreto was arrested and she was not allowed to consult with a lawyer. From an interview that same night, an alleged confession emerged that the defendant could not understand, since she only reached the 5th grade in school.
Friday, February 25, Ponce, Puerto Rico, muralist Juan Luis Cornier Torres was sentenced to 107 years in prison by Judge Daniel R. Lopez in the Ponce court, for the murder of Valerie Ann Almodovar Ojeda, which occurred on December 17, 2018. After the sentence was announced, Cornier Torres made a statement in court, where the victim's mother and uncle were present. With a broken voice, he recounted his version of the events and insisted that he was convicted of a murder he did not commit. He assured that he was being sentenced for not having called the police when he found the body in the living room of his house. Zaid and Jamie Ojeda, mother and uncle of the deceased, respectively, did not believe in his alleged innocence, while they were satisfied with the result of the criminal procedure. They stated, "It's disrespectful. He does not feel remorseful and wants to look innocent." During sentencing, the judge referenced the criminal history of the defendant who had pleaded guilty and served a sentence in other cases, one for violation of a protection order and another for assault on an art teacher.
Friday, February 25, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Federal Judge Aida Delgado Colon sentenced Mario Torres Rodriguez to serve 14 years in prison, plus 10 years of supervised release after the man pleaded guilty, on August 30, 2021, to charges of transporting a minor 15 years to perform illegal sexual acts. The Federal Prosecutor's Office for the District of Puerto Rico indicated, through a written communication, that Torres Rodriguez paid money, between July 2017 and January 2018, to a minor to have sexual relations. The illegal activity included sexual acts and the production and recording of child pornography, added U.S. Attorney General William Stephen Muldrow.
Thursday, February 24, Carolina, Puerto Rico, a mistrial was declared in the murder trial against Jose Carlos Aponte Ramos, accused of killing 4 members of a family on New Year's 2020, in Trujillo Alto, after the jury did not reach a unanimous verdict. The massacre occurred in the early hours of New Year's Day on 2020. There, the husband and wife Edwin Ramos, 40, and Dorothy Wickline, 47, were murdered. Their 9-year-old twin sons were also killed, while another 16-year-old son of the couple was injured. The police investigator stated the motive for the crime was an alleged quarrel between neighbors. The Department of Justice will support the recommendation of its prosecutors to request a second trial.
Friday, February 25, San Juan, Puerto Rico, Judge Alfonso S. Martinez Piavanetti, of the Court of San Juan dismissed the injunction filed by Puerto Rico with a purpose organization against Reignite, the corporation that presides over the Miss World and Stephanie Del Valle Diaz, Miss World 2016. Judge Alfonso Martinez determined that the former Miss World 2016 has already returned the amount of money that the Puerto Rico with a purpose organization alleged she stole.
Tuesday, March 1st, Entertainment News. If there is something that characterizes Dreuxilla Divine Carter, a character played by Nelson Roldan more than 24 years ago, it is his genius to diversify and evolve in his career. She will demonstrate this in her new show The Divine Show, where she will enter for the first time into the world of modern cabaret. The Dreuxilla Divine event will take place on March 25th and 26th, 2022 at 8 p.m. at the Punto Fijo Theater Cafe of the Santurce Fine Arts Center.
Here's your weather for the week for the north side of the island. Thanks for subscribing. Have a great week.